Hello, we hear everyone. That's amazing. That's a miracle.
Yeah.
It's a Christmas miracle.
That's like a laughing child right there. Okay, Tracy, did you
Yeah.
have something you wanted to like announce or something? What?
Well, as you can see, I'm stuck in this machine, and guys, I don't know why. I woke up in this machine, and
Is it
says here on the
this
screen
machine?
it is. It's an infernal combustion engine, and it says Tim status, but it says victim status, but it goes off where you can see contained. That's me. I'm contained, guys. And it looks like, oh no, we need 50 subs for me to be uncontained. Guys, we've only got 2 hours. Get me out of this machine. Get 50 subs. I'm stuck. Like I'm in this machine.
This seems like a real problem.
It's
like a real legitimate problem that we have.
Yeah, real. It feels real, doesn't
and
it?
look, I'm in some kind of weird zone. It's so wonky, guys. Help! I'm wonky. You gotta get 50 subs.
Stretch goal. Tracy gets to live.
I like it.
I'm gonna have to stay in the machine the whole night if we don't get 50 subs. Anyway.
So what happens at the end? The spin cycle? Somebody turns that on?
I don't know. It could be. It could be hair fluff. I don't know what that is.
Kitty just unfollowed and followed again. Does that help?
Unfollow, I understand.
I don't. We seem to have like a solid crew, but it's always the same crew. We need to what is that? What did we accidentally do to that random person? What's it called? Invade. We need to invade some people.
Raid. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to raid some people.
We don't enforce.
Yeah, I always forget.
we don't force ourselves upon their stream. We go and spectate it. I thought we could take over.
Yeah, it's called a raid, you'd think.
Yeah, it seems like, it should be like, compares everybody in one raid's levels to the other, and then you get
Kitty says it's called invade now.
Really? Whereas what you're doing is more of a course audit?
Colonize.
Colonize.
Spitfire says we're gonna colonize, yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is not for credit. We just want to see what's going on.
Also, how's your oxygen doing over there?
Right. I think it like has an oxygenating wash or something. I think I'm okay.
That's good. Don't blow the wad on this bit just yet. You got 2 hours to kill. You got to have just enough oxygen.
Look, guys.
Before you get permanently pressed.
I'm gonna be permanently pressed. Help!
Okay. Fanfics with an S, plural. There we go. That put all the links in the chat.
The name of this chapter has Raimi in it, so I get to do my Raimi.
Good. Good.
Raimi voice.
Okay.
Here.
Yes, I also.
Sam.
Sorry, what was that?
You do a Sam Raimi voice?
No, there's a small child in this fiction whose name is Raimi.
Oh, that's right.
My Sam Raimi voice is just kind of like, I hope everybody likes Spider-Man. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I also
It's who's Space Ghost now. Everybody, we're all Space Ghost.
Sure. I also started setting up commands.
You didn't push your religious ideals on everybody.
Okay, let's get to this chapter. Michael, do you
Space
have
Ghost go in that direction? Okay, so we're on chapter 5 of Reba. Is that what we're doing here?
Yes.
Family Troubles by Dr. Michaela Quinn.
Yes.
But actually, what was her name? Rebecca.
I think it was Samantha, maybe.
Or Samantha, like Gayrod, or it was like Rude, Gay Rude. Was that what it was?
Gay Rod.
Whatever. Okay, here we go. Chapter 5, Bruce, the kids, Buck, and Ramey. Bruce Barnes was sitting in his office at the New Hope Village Church in Mount Prospect, Illinois. His wife was at home holding dinner for him to get there. Just holding it? It is 7:30 p.m., and it is another long...
Bring home plates.
I just picture her with like a really hot roast in her hands. Like, oh God. It is 7:30 p.m., and it is another long night for Pastor Barnes. He is the visitation pastor for the church. But he's sitting in his office. Who cares? Oh, well. Even Pastor Vernon Billings went home an hour ago. Bruce wasn't sure if he was trying...
Pastor Vernon Billings? Whoa. That guy's there like all night, every night.
It's the Billings hour. That's what they used to say. Bruce wasn't sure if he was trying to get his work done as much as to... Bruce wasn't sure if he was trying to get his work done as much as to be away from his family. He loves his family, but his children have been driving him crazy. His 3-year-old daughter always wants to be around him, and it is keeping him from doing some of the other stuff some of the stuff he wants to do. Bruce sighs as the phone rings and he answers it.
Hello?
Bruce asks into the phone.
This is someone with a soft voice. A sweet wife with a soft voice. Tracy?
Bruce, when are you coming home? Emmy is already in bed. Andrew and Matthew have been asking about you for the last 2 hours, and I'm sitting here holding a lasagna in my bare hands.
Just the way you like it. Bruce's sweet wife, Melissa, said in her soft voice into the phone.
Is she holding it the pizza style? That kind of is what it makes it sound like. She's
like up over the shoulder?
Is that how you eat pizza?
Well, no.
That's how the pros
I
do
thought
it.
delivering it to the table. Yeah.
Bruce.
Sorry.
Come on, Bruce.
Answer me, Bruce.
Dylan! I will be home soon enough. I still have some studying to do for the service on Sunday.
Bruce says tiredly.
All the commandments, all of them. Oh, is Vernon going to let you preach on Sunday?
Melissa asks.
No, I just have to study, okay? I have to go for now. I will be home soon. I love you.
Bruce says. He hangs up the phone and sighs. Just this tired, put-upon pastor, like, God, I hate children. My stupid wife.
Catching up on the chat, I do get your Space Ghost reference now with the oxygen.
Oh, yeah. You have enough oxygen? Yeah.
Okay, next section. Rayford Steele walks in the front door of his home. He sees his wife's little white sneakers sitting next to the door. Rayford snickers. Reba has always been a little persnickety. Ever since they got married, nobody is allowed to wear shoes in the house. That only started when they got married? That seems odd.
Persnickety.
An odd habit to pick up when you get married.
Well, you know what God says. It's a temple, not a gym.
Next,
yeah.
God makes the biscuits. I just keep the biscuit dough out of my shoes.
Just hold the biscuits in my arms until my husband gets home.
Next to them, he sees Chloe's loafers. He looks past them to see a pair of baby shoes. A pair that look like he could fit his foot in them twice.
But they're baby shoes.
So she's a basketball player? She's got a pair of Shaqs.
And 2 pairs of women's shoes.
So
I could get her nose all day.
So Chloe's.
So everyone has
Reba's.
shoes, is what this scene is letting us know.
All God's children have shoes.
No, it's the family that's visiting.
Okay.
Right?
But
like
Chloe
so
and
there's
Reba
Chloe
aren't women. Their shoes don't count as women's shoes. see.
No, just two. I think it means like two unidentified women's shoes. Though how
No.
he would know that, I'm not really sure.
Those two share the big pair.
The baby shoes.
Maybe.
No,
Okay.
the pair that he could put his foot in twice.
Reba.
Right. Rayford calls from the door. Reba comes walking around the corner with a baby in her arm. The baby is cooing, and Reba is bouncing her.
Ah, I'm glad you're home. How was the flight?
Reba asks.
It was fine. What is going on
Except
here?
some total dipshit was reading a Bible, and I asked him, "What's your book about?" And he read the gospel to me 3 full times.
Also, my
You
co-pilot
remember that
kept
song?
reading my mind.
You don't remember the Christian song where the guy reads the gospel to the person next to him on the airplane 3 times?
No.
It's called End of the Beginning. We should have put
Alright.
it on before the stream.
Okay. Spitfire suggests that maybe he was suggesting that 2 pairs of women's shoes could fit into those baby shoes in addition to 2 times his feet.
Yeah.
I
Hold
think I
on.
agree with
That's
that.
not how it's written.
How big is this baby?
Pair that looked like
Yeah.
they would- Now, granted, a
Here's-
pair of shoes, any pair of shoes I would look at and say, I could fit 2 feet into this pair of shoes. So that's not really weird.
Yeah, I got a pair that it looked like he could fit his foot in them twice. Right, one on the left shoe, one on the right. Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Starting to sound like a story problem that we could sneakily get some high schoolers to solve for us.
Yeah.
I just like to think that all story problems are like real problems and they're using high schoolers to solve them.
Yeah.
It's a big conspiracy.
Where are we?
It was fine.
Yeah. It was fine. What is going on here? I've never seen so many pairs of shoes in here before. And what are you doing with the baby? Was I on that log? How did it get burned?
Rayford asks.
Ray,
Rayford asks with a worried look in his eyes.
And
Reef-
who or what are those shoes?
Is this some sort of weird Rip Van Winkle shoe scenario I'm trapped in? I got way far away from Nick Cage. Reba just laughs.
Laughs? Then I won't have a line probably.
You do.
But all she
She
did
just
was laugh.
laughs. So
Just
I guess
laugh.
this whole line
she
is a
just
laugh.
stared at him.
Rayford, I want you to meet your granddaughter, Elizabeth. Elizabeth, this is your grandpa.
Reba replies.
This is the biscuit the Lord made. Let's butter it.
Wait, doesn't she already have a grandpa?
Rayford questions.
Nobody can have more than one.
Yeah, she is Brock and she is Dan Montgomery.
Reba replies.
Who in the world is Dan Montgomery?
Rayford asks, just staring at her. Although
It's
obviously
fine.
he wasn't just staring at her since he spoke.
Dan's father, Elizabeth's grandpa.
Reba responds.
Oh, okay.
Rayford says. Elizabeth stares at him. Who the hell
I
is
think
it?
she likes you.
Oh, is Elizabeth a child?
Yes.
Reba
the
State-
baby.
Reba states, looking at Elizabeth, watch Rayford. He eyes never leave him.
Thank God. I think so too. Can I hold her?
Rayford. Yes?
I keep
Never
trying.
know.
My point of reference for Nicolas Cage is mostly Ghost Rider, where he's supposed to be from Texas, so he has a slight accent. but
But that's the great thing about Nicolas Cage. Like, he's this Italian from Los Angeles, but for some reason he has a Southern accent forever.
Yeah.
Like, he always has, like Leaving Las Vegas, which is like him basically being himself, a guy from Las Vegas or a guy from Los Angeles, and just the movie mostly takes place in Vegas, and he's like, he's like, I think you're real pretty, and it's like,
I think it's his whole Elvis obsession.
and that might
Maybe.
be it. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's sort of spins out of that.
that makes sense.
Again, I love to be devil's advocate for all sorts of nonsense. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
What? Where are we? I know I said he eyes never leave him, and then you said
Rayford says, I think so too.
can I hold her?
Rayford asks.
Sure.
Reba says, handing Elizabeth to him. They walk into the living room.
Okay, we want to get this over quickly. These are my daughters, Kyra and Cheyenne. Van is my son-in-law, and you've already met Elizabeth. Kids, this is Rayford Steele. He's your...
Reba starts to say.
She started to say an entire paragraph.
So she got to okay. The rest went unsaid.
I think I was Kyra. We all know who he is, Mom, and I still can't believe that you would get married without even telling us first.
Ira hollers.
What's wrong with her?
Raimi asks Rayford.
I thought we were pleasant enough to her.
What?
Pleasant enough. What's going on?
With who? Whatever.
That
Kyra?
is a good question.
Right?
Raimi thought
No,
they
I
were
don't know.
pleasant enough.
Oh,
to Kyra?
Kyra. I guess Raimi is Rayford's kid, and Kyra is upset, and so he's saying, "What's up with her? Like, I
Was
thought we were
Raimi
pleasant
the
enough."
only one who was invited to the wedding?
Possibly.
Oh, whatever. Okay. Oh, she's just at the age like Chloe when she started getting frustrated easily when her parents didn't invite her to weddings.
Rayford replies.
Oh,
Raimi responds.
What's that supposed to mean?
Mean.
Kyra and Chloe ask at the same time.
Oh.
Although that's in quotes too,
yeah.
so maybe one of them said, "What's that supposed to mean?" and the other said, "Kyra and Chloe ask."
Oh, she's like doing that cool thing where you like do the narration, like said no one ever.
Right.
So she's just
right.
gonna Kyra and Chloe ask at the same time.
What's that supposed to mean?
Rayford and Reba just look at them.
Whatever.
One do you
No,
want?
she did. No, she did. She said something, didn't she?
Wait, which what? What's that supposed to mean? Which one do you want?
I think it's like
Are
we
they
gotta
dividing up the children?
yeah, we gotta talk to them. I think.
Okay.
Oh, so it's like we're getting divorced and we got to split you guys up. Who do you want?
Who do you get along with better?
Rayford questions.
Questioning everything.
Well, I think I am getting a pretty good relationship with Chloe, but I'm afraid that Kyra would have you killed if I turn my back. So you take your daughter and I'll take mine.
Reba replies.
Come on, Kyra. We will go in the kitchen.
Reba pulls Kyra up by the ear and takes her into the living room.
What?
Ow!
That seems
Jesus.
unnecessary. Ow, that hurt!
Look, you little slut! I will not have that disrespect. Sorry, did you say ow,
Yeah,
that hurt?
I
I got way into my... Kyra says, putting her hand over her blood-red ear.
My God.
Shouldn't be blood. That means it's bleeding. You have been here not even 2 hours, and already you are causing trouble for this family. I love you, but if you aren't going to have some respect for me and our new family, man, I won't ask you to come back.
Reba states sternly.
Did we ever establish how old Kyra is? I
No
mean,
idea.
either she's an adult.
No, Kyra is the alternative one, which is what Jesse said last time. I watched an episode of Reba.
What does that imply about her age?
She is a teenager, like an older teen.
She's
Chloe
kind
is
of
more
Darla
like
from
her
Roseanne.
mother. Yes, exactly. She's the Darla from Roseanne of Reba.
I've been playing her much younger than I should have been. But still, either way, either she's an adult and this is still an overreaction, but something that you could say like, hey, you don't have to be here. But if she's not an adult and she's just banishing her child,
there's a shot of him. She's
now, you know how this works. You go out there onto the highway and grab a moving truck, and you don't get off until you fall off.
God bakes the moving trucks. I just throw you in front of them when you're bad. She's the redhead in front. I don't know if that's helpful or not.
that's Reba. Oh, in front. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess that's not really helpful. But thanks for trying.
But Chloe's like a dumber version of Reba, like an unwise version of Reba.
Wait, Chloe?
You're gonna say unwashed.
Chloe's like a mini, super southern, and she's like stupid and selfish.
Okay, but Chloe's from Left Behind, right?
From Left Behind, yeah.
What?
Right. Do you mean Cheyenne?
Oh boy.
Yes, Cheyenne.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Now, I had them all mixed up. Kyra's the cat.
Okay. Where the hell are we? Reba just ripped Kyra's ear off. I think Jesus touched it and healed it.
We're ready for fine.
And this is Kyra. Okay. I'm going to keep doing my voice for Kyra. Fine. I don't want to come see you anyway. You left us in Houston with Dad. You abandoned us. You didn't even want us at your wedding.
Kyra screams, turning away from Reba. Oh, Kyra screams, turning away from Reba.
Is that how you feel?
Reba asks, turning her daughter around to face her.
Yes.
Kyra responds to her.
Oh, honey, I didn't mean for you to feel that way. We didn't want to mess with the hassle of trying to get you kids up here. Raimi and Chloe weren't here either. Raimi still lives here in Mount Prospect, and Chloe goes to Stanford in Palo Alto, California.
Reba says.
How was any of that relevant?
I have no idea.
Really? Really?
Also, Raimi has a bicycle and
at a time like this.
Kyra
asks,
Chloe's
looking at her mother.
Candy bar is Baby Ruth.
Oh my God.
Kyra asks, looking at her mother with her face blood red because the ear
ripped from the ear across the whole face.
The ear is just bleeding all. Kyra wraps her arms around her mother. I will strangle you like a fucking biscuit, mother.
I love you. I love you, Kyra. I may get mad at you sometimes, but don't ever forget that I'm your mother, and you can come to me whenever you need to. If you want to come stay with me in Rayford, just say the word. We definitely have the room.
Reba replies. Reba replies.
Are you sure? It seems awful crowded.
Kyra states.
Well, if you were all to come here, Jamie and Jake would have to share a room. You would get your own room. Van and Cheyenne would have to room with Elizabeth. And then Chloe would have her bedroom that she only stays in when she comes home from college every once in a while.
Reba responds.
It would be a huge fucking inconvenience is what I'm saying. But sure, we'll rearrange our whole lives for you. Okay.
And I guess I'll just stay out in the goddamn garage. How'd that make you feel, huh? That make you happy?
Okay.
Kyra replies with a smile.
Where's Jake anyway?
Reba asks.
He is with Dad and Barbara Jean. They had other plans than for him to come with us today.
That sounds ominous. Kyra responds.
Well, maybe time he come, he can come with you.
Reba states. Kyra just
Butter that
smiles.
biscuit when we come to it.
Kyra just smiles shyly. Just then, there is a knock on the door. Reba lets go of Kyra and walks over to open the door.
How'd your interview go?
Steve Plank was asking as Cameron Buck Williams walks into the Global Weekly office.
All right, we got.
Should we put up a disclaimer here regarding Steve Plank?
Oh, right.
The views of Steve
All
Plank
right.
do not represent.
Yeah.
Who
yeah,
agrees? Who agrees with Steve Plank's religious views and who doesn't?
No.
Everybody,
No.
show of hands.
I'm not raising my hand. I'm not raising
I
my hand
haven't
for
got
one
a-
God.
Okay, so
I do not have a sense of Steve Plank's religious views as yet. Doesn't seem like a great guy, but do we know where he stands on the whole thing?
wasn't he
I
atheist?
know, actually.
Monotheistic, polytheistic? Oh, atheist?
I think
I
what
thought.
he said was that Israel, if there is such a thing, is God's chosen people.
Oh, yeah.
I thought
Oh,
that
So
was.
they are
what-
not pro-Israel, is what the author is trying to say.
Pretty sure he was atheist, but he's atheist, but he also thinks Israel is the chosen people. Okay, thanks for clearing
Wait,
that
what?
up.
Yes.
I mean,
Well,
whether-
it's that were there such a thing as a God's chosen people, they'd be it,
Sure,
hands
sure.
down.
Okay.
Whether you agree or disagree, one thing you have to give him is that Plank's constant.
Mm.
Sorry, I'll show myself out.
Okay. So last time we had
Shane just went up to 55 because of that stupid joke. Guys, help!
chosen by some guy named Phil, Spitfire says. So last time we had Quinn doing Buck as Bill Clinton. If I were to do it as Bill Clinton, it would be almost exactly the same as my Nicolas Cage. Should I take him and just do something
Mine would
completely
be-
different, or
You can do it if you send me a link to the text, because I can't which.
yes? Are you in the? Sorry, what are you
Cord.
saying?
I'm in Discord.
Yeah.
Okay. Tristan can
Is there a link
send
to
it
the-
to you over Slack.
Oh, yeah, okay.
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 1 second.
Or by pigeon,
Slack.
but we prefer not to try.
True Buck. Send. Okay. There you go.
I don't know. Oh, something just happened. Ding.
Yeah, we're real advanced over here. We've got Slack and Discord.
Now I get to find where it is.
Working on setting up Yahoo Messenger too.
Okay.
I've got ICQ over
Yeah.
here.
That's what I was
Okay.
thinking of.
So wait, we're in chapter 5.
Yes.
Right?
And, yep. And scroll down to the break. There's a horizontal rule in the page.
Okay. How'd your interview go, Steve Plank? All right. Now, which I'm Buck.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. He thinks that since this Carpathia guy wants world peace, that he's
Whoa, whoa,
worth
whoa,
the
whoa,
steal.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
skipped
whoa,
it
whoa!
there.
We're not down there yet. You gotta.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm
Oh
sorry.
my God!
Okay.
This shit went up to 60 followers, guys.
Oh God, no! I'm so sorry, man. All right. Oh, it was just Dr. Rosenzweig. Oh boy,
Yeah,
that is not a name that is easy to say as Bill Clinton. As usual, Steve. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Although he does want to talk to This guy, Carpathia.
Buck says, confused.
Oh, he wants to talk to you. He wants you to talk to Nikolai Carpathia? He is in the lower house in Romania. That isn't worth anything. Why does he want you to talk to him? Steve asked. And sorry, that's your line. But I just wanted to point out that clearly the writer here is not used to hitting the apostrophe when they type. Like, they're not good at that key on the keyboard. Because they go for the non-contraction every time.
Yeah, they don't like contractions at all.
Huh.
They got weak pinkies.
We got a couple of them coming up, though.
Oh boy.
Okay.
We do have a lot of.
Yeah, I wonder how much autocorrect helped there.
All right, Buck gets to reply.
Okay, Buck is back. He thinks that since this Carpathia guy, not to be confused with Vigo from Ghostbusters 2, this Carpathia guy wants world peace, that he's worth a story.
Buck replies.
This is the first guy we ever found that wants world peace. Ha! If we did a story on every man, woman, and child who wanted world peace, that would be all we ever wrote about. That man has to be crazy to want a story like that in our magazine. Maybe if it were the Chicago branch, it might work. But not in our New York branch of Global Week. I am not letting that paper come through my hands and it have your name on it, sir. Could you imagine the kind of stuff that you could endure writing a story like that? If you do, it will never be the end of it. You'll be writing puff pieces like that the rest of your life. You don't want that, do you, Buck?
What I want is pictures of Spider-Man committing crimes, goddammit!
Poor taste.
There was a lot in
Steve-
there. First of all,
Yeah,
those
yeah.
peace-loving
no
pussies
longer,
in
like,
Chicago.
Right.
Ha! Maybe in the Chicago branch that kind of thing would fly, world peace. But
Well,
I
it's
mean,
like,
it seems like he gets furious in the middle, but at the end he's got his arm around Buck's neck. I mean, I wouldn't know how to act this.
In, like, a
there's
hole?
a lot of yeah. It's just like, you don't want that, do you, Buck?
there-
Say
you know what
mercy.
that, do you, Buck?
there's an entire character arc within this little paragraph here.
I know, it's huge.
Steve asks, putting his arm around Buck's neck.
No, I don't.
Buck replies.
Don't write the story or you're fired.
Also, this author does not understand that there's multiple versions of TH.
Then, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Steve-
I didn't see that. Yeah.
Steve says with a smile.
What? You just threatened to fire him. Oh, no problem.
Such a rough and tumble businessman, I smile at the sound of danger.
Buck responds.
Yeah.
All right then, let's get back to work.
Steve hollers to everybody who had been sitting and listening to his conversation with Buck.
What did we?
Why? They weren't established until now because they don't matter.
Okay, all right.
Second to plug my headphones back in.
All right.
My commitment to this character.
All right.
Okay.
Here we go. This is a big scene for Raimi here.
Ooh.
Reba? Raimi calls when it's just him and her in the living room.
Well,
Yes, Raimi?
why
Wait,
would he
what?
call when they're alone in the living room?
Reba, are you over there?
Oh, they're under the couch.
Reba!
These Zoomers always calling people on their mobile telephones when they're in the same room.
Yeah. Yes, Raimi? May I call you Raimi?
Reba asks.
Yeah, you could call me Amy. Everybody else does. It's supposed to be short for Wayford.
Raimi states.
They call you Raimi for Rayford? I just don't understand that. Although, what was it you wanted to talk about? It's no one
Reba,
understands my name and it hurts.
Reba asks.
Coming back to your point from 2 seconds ago.
Do you know who Jesus Christ is?
Raimi questions.
Yes. I was raised in church, and I have been going to church for years. Well, yeah. You've been alive for years. You've been post-raised for years. I've actually gotten your dad to come with me when he's not working.
Reba replies. Raimi sighs. He walks over and sits next to her on the couch.
That's a lost cause, believe me. My mom and I tried getting him and Chloe to go all the time, but neither of them want to go.
Raimi states.
Dad goes with me every week that he doesn't have to fly. I thought that he always went with you guys.
Reba asks.
No, he hardly ever went. I don't think he has much use for Pastor Billings or Pastor Barnes.
He
They Pastor accounts receivable.
He has as much use for Pastor Billings as Pastor Billings does for his wife.
They preach about the rapture, and Dad gets mad when Mom brings it up or when one of them brought it up in a sermon.
Raimi says.
I could understand why. I mean, saying that you have to live a specific way just to get into heaven, and that you don't believe this certain way, and if you don't believe this certain way, you can't go, just seems awful fishy to me. I think these people just want us to believe like them.
Reba
What?
replies.
So basically, so that's why I've been going to church my entire life, to take them down from the inside.
Also, he's talking about like they don't like when the rapture gets brought up, and she's like, yeah, you know, it's tough to get into heaven, and it's like, I mean, I guess the rapture implies some people get into heaven, but that's not like the usual way to go. I don't think so.
Well,
It's a little odd.
A little
It
fishy.
seems like she's just talking about all of Christianity.
I think.
Yeah.
Well, let's finish this chapter. There's only a couple lines.
Okay.
well, that's what our church says. We don't care if you believe like us or not.
You
Just
can
remember-
tell.
We don't give a shit.
Just remember that I love you, and I want you to go to heaven when Jesus does come back.
Raimi
Take it,
says,
leave it.
Well, I need to be going to bed. Good night.
Raimi says,
Why split that up? Raimi additionally says. Sorry, did you say good night already, Tracy?
Oh,
What's that?
Did you do the final line there?
Yeah. Good
I-
night.
Reba replies.
Perfect.
ooh,
So I suspect
another thrilling.
that this author is going to try to work in some kind of commentary about different sects of Christianity, and like maybe she's a rapture believing Christian and she's gonna try like the rapture is going to happen. I hope it's gonna happen in the next
Oh
few
boy.
chapters. Okay, yes, at least in the next couple chapters.
Okay.
And then I'm betting Reba is not going to be raptured, and she's going to have to come to terms with the fact that she was doing Christianity wrong her entire life or something. Because otherwise, how would she stay in the story?
This author doesn't know anything about Christianity, but I mean, I guess that's what a Left Behind
Right. I mean,
fan would have.
I
But-
have no doubt that she is herself a church-going Christian.
Hey,
But-
and she has to witness, has to have testimony, even though she's like, how old is this person? Because I keep thinking like 17, but that's not accurate, is it?
At the time that she wrote this, she was probably like around 18.
I mean, she was a medical
Judging-
doctor.
Yes. This is Dr. Michaela.
A medicine woman,
Medicine
please.
woman. No, but from reading the profile and like
I
I'm
would say
pretty sure
20
added up the
max,
dates
would you
before,
say?
because this was 2011. So
Yeah, like
9
20
minus
max, right? Like, because it's
Oh, yeah,
9 years
absolute
ago.
max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we want to keep going with this, or do we want to switch to something different? Are we?
Let's do one more
what are we?
chapter.
All right. This chapter 6, finding out about Brock's visit. Reba sits at the table watching Raimi go up the stairs. A little creepy, Reba. As Cheyenne walks into the kitchen and puts her hand on Reba's shoulder, Reba is holding her head in her hands.
Weren't they in the living room in the last chapter?
God only knows.
Okay.
Why didn't you tell me?
Reba asks, looking up at Cheyenne.
You said Cheyenne was like a
Yeah,
Reba light.
She's like she's trying to be like a hot country girl, kind of, blonde hair. She's dumb and selfish and
Vapid.
Okay, so Spitfire says the profile says 23 when written in 2015. This was written in 2011, so about 19.
All right.
Okay.
She's as vapid as a flight attendant.
Okay.
What? Sorry, flight attendants.
Cheyenne asks.
Barbara Jean, your dad were coming up here and you didn't say a word.
Reba says, just glaring at Cheyenne.
Well,
Just glaring at Cheyenne. You are one unsalted butter biscuit.
well, maybe I knew. Look, Dad wanted it to be a surprise. It's the first time he's seen you since you got married.
Cheyenne replies. Reba turns to face Cheyenne. Cheyenne got a glance at Reba's wedding ring.
Which was blood red from earlier. Whoa! Whoa! Has Dad seen that? Has Dad seen your wedding ring? Okay, no, her dad. Got it.
Right, yes,
Her-
yes.
Did Daddy Big Bucks up there really give that to you?
Cheyenne asks.
Daddy Big
Daddy.
Bucks.
Hey, we do not.
Who do you think you
That is the
are?
Lord's name, and we do not take it in vain. Please forgive her, Daddy Big Bucks.
In the name of the daddy, the son, and that scary ghost.
Cheyenne.
I'm one. Olivia says you can't just call someone a flight attendant. I'm 1/16th flight attendant, so it's okay. Reba says.
I can open a flight attendant's
wait.
casino, so
Reba says in a warning tone.
I'm sorry. I just can't believe all the money that Rayford has compared to what Dad makes.
Cheyenne replies.
Oh, well, Rayford is a pilot, where your dad is a dentist.
Are dentists poor? Like this doesn't.
Also, they work at the same place. Rayford's a pilot where her dad is a dentist.
Reba
Rayford is
states.
the pilot as your dad is to dentist.
Barbara Jean, Brock, Jake, Kyra, and Rayford come down the stairs.
Well, that's the
Okay.
tour.
Rayford says to them.
Mom!
Jake hollers, running over to Reba. Reba hugs him.
There, Jake. Do you like the house?
Reba asks.
I love it. Can I live here?
Jake asks. Reba looks at Brock.
Brock? Who's
Uh,
Brock?
Who the hell is Brock?
Oh, wait,
I think he's the Pokemon
Automatically,
trainer.
It has to
Yeah,
be
it's the
me.
Pokemon trainer.
Yeah.
I know Brock.
Okay.
Your mom,
Your mom and I will have to talk about that, son. Brock says.
That's how you think.
I
Brock
was gonna do the
Pokemon-
Pokemon trainer voice, but
You go ahead. I
Okay.
just made one. I don't remember.
your mom and I will have to talk about that, son. We'll have to talk about that son.
They mean Raimi. It's like, oh my god, what he was doing in the room. And
son.
Brock says,
Okay, I want to come live with Mom and Ray.
Jake states, Brock and Reba just look at each other.
Kyra.
Come on, Jake. Let's go find Cheyenne and Van.
You were very kind to give him that comma of direct address there, rather than just Come on, Jake.
Right.
Yep, and you need to comment in that
right.
sentence.
Kyra replies to Jake. Kyra and Jake run into the living room.
Don't run!
Reba hollers. Jake and Kyra slow down and jog into the living room.
The last step was more of a job.
Barbara Jean.
Um,
Barbara Jean is like the stupidest character in the show.
Well, make sure you capture her usual tone.
Okay. Hi there, Reba.
Barbara Jean says in her usual tone, hugging Reba.
Get away from me!
Reba
Why
says
don't you
between
love me?
clenched teeth.
Get away from me!
Okay.
Barbara Jean replies as she backs away and walks over to Brock. Brock puts his arm around her.
Where y'all staying tonight?
Reba asks, looking at Barbara Jean.
I thought they would stay with us.
Rayford says. Reba just looks at him.
No, she doesn't. She says
Do
what?
that again. Discord clipped you.
Rayford
What?
says. Reba just looks at him. Oh, you're asking Tracy. I see. Okay. Reba questions.
What? What?
There you go. We got it. It's in the can.
Reba questions.
They are family. I thought they could stay with us a while. Stay with us while they were in Mount Prospect.
Well, I guess as long as we put Cheyenne in the garage and then we put Kyra into the horse pen outback that isn't being used currently next to Mr. Nibbles, and then we can put Raimi into the attic up. And, okay.
But
I can't-
take in the big tub.
Rayford replies.
I think it's a good idea.
Barbara Jean says.
You would.
Reba replies, staring at Barbara Jane.
I don't think that it would be such a good idea to have them stay here because you don't know what they are capable of.
Last time they stayed here, they caused the rapture.
You know,
Yeah.
they had, what did the doctor call it? A mini rapture?
As Misha notes, Reba keeps being a horrible person. At least she's consistent.
Reba.
What do you mean? What could possibly happen? How bad could it be? More
Rayford asks.
setting up for a smash cut to chapter 7.
The record player.
You lost how many of your heads?
Okay, so what are we doing now?
Gotta get the damn rapture.
we still want to keep going with Reba?
Oh shit! I hit plus. Oh,
I don't know. It seems like the next one's really short, but
silly. Okay. Is it? It is really short. Okay, let's just do this one, and then we'll go to Faerie Wars.
There are fire trucks and ambulances roaring down the streets of Mount Prospect. That is what rouses Rayford and Reba Steele. They just look at each other.
what's going on?
Reba asks Rayford.
Sorry. I don't know.
Rayford replies. They both rush over to the window. There are fires and chaos everywhere.
I wonder what happened. Seems like the entire world is falling apart.
Reba says, looking at Rayford.
Where's Raimi?
Oh, I think I think my Raimi impression gets to be shelved now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's in heaven.
It was one of the good
Rayford
ones.
asks, just looking at Reba. Rayford and Reba both run into Raimi's room. Rayford pulls back the covers of the blanket and Raimi's pajamas are there, but he is not.
Yeah.
Rayford sits on the bed, takes Raimi's clothes in his arms and sobs.
Where's Raimi?
Sorry, do that
Reba
again.
asked.
We lost
Oh.
the first part again.
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
That happens almost every Reba line, honestly.
Oh, okay. I wondered what happened. Seems like the entire world is falling apart.
Oh, no, I was talking about Rayford. What's wrong? But
Oh, Rayford, what's wrong? Where's Raimi?
Reba asks.
he's gone. He's gone.
Rayford says, bowling!
He's gone bowling.
What about a biscuit and top it with ham, mustard, cheese, and rye?
And rye.
What do you and rye? Yeah, the top bun is rye and the bottom one's a biscuit.
Oh, I thought like rye whiskey. Like, just douse it.
Olivia asks, what does a chaos look like? It's like a biscuit that's been baked really badly.
Oh,
You've played Sonic the Hedgehog, right?
It's not. Yeah, it's like in Sonic Adventure. There are fires and chows everywhere.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And what does the author think they mean when they say someone just looked at someone? Well, how is it different from looking at someone? If you look at someone, that means that's all you do. If you just look at someone, then you're going to say something as well.
Right. Exactly.
Or just would solve so many problems. Yes.
It means you're justified in looking at them.
Right.
It was a just look.
Did you read the Irene line? Sorry, I
have
was
no
over there
idea
looking at
where
the
we
chat.
are. Okay,
He's
Irene.
gone.
Yes.
Oh,
That's
What
right.
do you
And then-
mean he's gone? Did Irene come and get him?
Reba asks, confused.
Did Irene
And
undress
who
him
is
in bed again?
Irene?
God only knows.
yeah.
No.
I assume Raimi's mom.
Oh, probably. No, she wouldn't come get him in the middle of the night, and especially not without his pajamas.
Rayford replies.
Is he?
Reba asks,
I want to know if, in addition to the pajamas being laid out in his bed, no doubt perfectly flat, if there's also like an indentation where his body would be.
of course, sure.
More graphic.
Reba
that way.
asks,
Heaven. He's immediate to pick up on this.
just in seconds, when even though they couldn't drag him to the church, he immediately knows it's the rapture.
What?
No,
So
I
pan out the window. The kid's running around naked in the yard. That's
Yeah.
You can see it just peering over
Setting
the horizon.
fires.
There's a fiery chariot that came down from heaven. That's how I know.
Rayford says,
or something.
just staring at the pajamas. Reba sits on the bed next to him.
What are you talking about, heaven? He didn't die, Rayford. His body would be here. What's going on? What are you talking about?
Reba asks.
Did Raimi ever talk to you about the rapture?
Rayford asks her.
I ain't mentioned something about it once. Why?
I don't
Reba
see the
asked.
connection.
Oh, God. When he talks to people about the rapture, he gets raptured. That's just...
It's like Candlejack. Did you say? Okay.
Reba
it's
asks.
fine.
I don't know.
Okay.
Sure.
Raimi said that the rapture was when Jesus returns for his people.
Rayford says,
easy. If it were true, we would have gone Rayford. We go to church.
we don't go
Everybody.
Rayford. We go to
Everybody's
church.
gone, Rayford.
Reba replies.
Spitfire says, someone abducted our child. Nah, probably just the rapture.
His clothes are here. He's fine.
Let me call Irene and see what's going on.
Hey, honey, hands up everybody who currently has Raimi in their house. Shit. Rayford responds,
If you have Raimi in your home, please press 1.
everybody's gone Rayford here. He walks back into their bedroom, picks up the
The whole
cordless
situation's gone Rayford on us.
picks up the cordless phone and dials Irene's number. He holds it to his ear and waits while it rings. Okay, good.
Oh,
After
okay,
about
he knows
12
how to
rings-
use the phone. That's going to come up again later.
After about 12 rings, he hangs up the phone. Reba, who has since walked into the bedroom, is watching him.
What's wrong?
Reba asks him.
She didn't answer the phone.
Rayford replies, dropping the phone on the bed. Rayford crumbles to the floor.
Oh, Rayford,
Reba falls to his side.
it'll be okay.
Cheyenne runs in sobbing and grabs Reba's hand.
Cheyenne!
Do that one again. It's cutting off like every time. It's annoying.
Sorry, I must be too loud.
Yeah.
I must be too loud. Hold on. What, Cheyenne?
Elizabeth is gone!
What Cheyenne through yonder window breaks? Cheyenne screams.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Was that Foley?
Yes. Yeah, I've got the soundboard set up.
Nice. Wow.
So outside,
Wow,
here's some
production
chaos
value.
outside.
It's chows. Chows everywhere.
Okay.
What? Maybe Van took her somewhere. It's just a van, Mom. It's so embarrassing when you just call it Van.
By the way, you think maybe we should put a painting on the side and call it Van Gogh?
Oh, I can't
Focus,
hear-
Reba. Reba says, trying to be rational.
Sorry, hold on.
Van walks into behind Cheyenne.
Okay, you should be able to hear them in
Good
the stream
stuff.
now. Here's a big one. Yay, kaboom. Okay.
Into behind Cheyenne. This is Van.
Yeah.
Who is Van?
I don't know.
Besides a
He's
used
probably
up
this
man,
big, like, football-looking guy.
It's the Van. Right?
Mhm.
So it
With him
should
will
talk
be
like-
little Van. Van is a used up
Oh,
man.
it's Martin Van Buren.
Yeah.
His
That's it.
daddy was box truck.
Okay, who wants Martin Van Buren?
Tracy, you're really quiet now.
Mutter.
I'll-
how's this?
Van.
Say that again.
How is this?
I think that's better.
I think it's good.
What do you in the chat think?
Follow for
Oh,
you
okay.
can hear me, and follow. Turn my volume down, and you all turn him up on your end, so he doesn't get clipped.
Mm.
Oh my God.
Oh, that was
It's crazy,
Fine.
but it just might work.
Okay.
Okay, extrapolating vertical next vector.
Here we go. I'll just be Van while you're working on it.
okay. You be Van. Go ahead.
No, I didn't take Elizabeth anywhere. I've been following Cheyenne around trying to get her to keep her composure. Was worried that she was going to get hurt running around the house trying to find Elizabeth. Van replies.
My bear traps are out for cleaning. What about Kyra or Jake? Let's try and find them. Maybe Chloe took her into her room for something. One of her
Reba
rituals.
says, still trying to be rational? Yeah, come on, Cheyenne. Mrs. H. Van starts to say.
You can still say Mrs. H, fam.
Reba replies with a smile. Okay, well,
did.
Mrs. H, why don't you go see Kyra, and then we will go fight Jake. Van says.
Don't worry, Cheyenne. We will find your little girl. I promise.
What was that, Tristan?
I was wondering if she was going for a gag like, come on, Mrs. H. Please, call me Mrs. H.
I don't, not
Really
that clever.
confusing.
I don't
feel
get
like
that either. It's like he
What?
did just call you Mrs. H. So
You can
Reba
still
replied.
say Mrs. H, fam. So that you're okay.
Reba replied. Van pushes Cheyenne out of the room while she screams and cries. Reba drops down next to Rayford.
We are gonna find him, Rayford, honey. I swear. We are gonna find Raimi. I love him just as much as you do.
if we have to storm the gates of heaven itself. Reba says,
I'm going to spend the rest of my life looking for him, even if it kills me.
womp womp.
Technically true.
And it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's switch
we got
over
the,
to Fairy Faces.
we got the
Faces,
chows
Fairy
taken
Faces.
care of. What chapter are we on Fairy Faces?
Believe
7
we are
or 8?
on 7
All right.
of Visions and Nightmares.
We're gonna get trippy for this one. Yeah. All right. Everybody
Can I have
settled
a
in
link to
for
the Fairy Faces text too?
everybody settled in for some groovy
yes.
times.
Moving to the grooving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to share my
Pain.
thing.
Okay.
All right, everybody, let's just keep getting settled in. We'll just settle in farther here. Here we go. Little Faerie War for everybody.
Okay. Part 7?
All right. Is that okay? Is that an okay? Like go?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're good.
Uriel watched in despair as Nereza fell away from her, and she was forced to fly with Morwen away from the tribe until she could no longer see it. They were accompanied by 2 air fairies who were leading the way. They explained to Morwen when she asked that the Light Kingdom was several days' flight away and was located in a glorious plain by the sea. The Water Kingdom was, as expected, in the middle of the ocean, the Fire Kingdom in the desert, the Earth Kingdom in the northern forest, and the Dark Kingdom in the dark western woods, rather nearby where their tribe had been. What caught Uriel's attention most was that the Air Kingdom was located on a cloud to the north. She thought over the placement of the kingdoms and couldn't help but notice their similarity to the old stories. The stories she had just told her sister only a week earlier.
The air fairies kept to the clouds, while the earth fairies made their homes in forest dens. Fire fairies in the heart of volcanoes and deserts. The light
Volcanoes
fairies,
and deserts, baby.
the light fairies in the open and sunny fields. The dark fairies in caves and under the ground, and the water fairies in the
Caves.
oceans.
Yep.
With
that's
the
very
exception-
similar. It checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
I believe
really
that is true. Yeah.
I mean, also, it just makes a lot of sense, right?
hmm
Like, the air fairies didn't live in sand. With the exception of the dark fairies, almost all the locations were almost the same. And it made sense, she knew. If the ancient fairies had developed into types because of their locations, lifestyles, and the magic they used, what could possibly be more appropriate? They eventually made camp for the night, and Morwen cast a barrier to hide against wraiths before Uriel could. Morwen did not bother to warn her about running away, for they both knew she would not. She clutched her staff tightly and realized that she did not miss her sister.
Who was she anyway, to think we could be equals?
She thought bitterly.
And how could we share this? It belongs to me now. I could never accept her as its master. My precious.
It could never accept her.
Oh, it could. Sorry.
Yeah, but I don't. I guess the power?
The staff, I think, that she's clutching.
Oh, okay. Right. During her training, Morwen had explained that in order for the staff to accept a new master, it had to have been given freely by its previous one. Otherwise, it would not work properly. Well, she would never give it up. Already it felt like a dear friend and an incredible symbol of her power and status. Though what status she may have in a kingdom with every light fairy in the world, she couldn't say. She stood up. The obedience spell had worn off during the fly. Not flight, during the fly.
She marathoned the fly movie.
Right. Brindle fly. Nah. Though she had already accepted that there was nothing she could do but go along. She glanced at the air fairies and Morwen, all of whom were sleeping. She had been given the first watch. She had to laugh at the thought, though she knew they were only sleeping because they knew she wouldn't leave. In a way, that irritated her. She walked over to where the first air fairy was and lifted a hand. It wouldn't matter if one air fairy kidnapper was turned to stone, would it? She was better than them all anyway, and she would prove it. She sought inside her the power she had been perfecting in secret for the past year. She had had only leaves and sometimes trees to work with for the most part, but it was all purely experimental, of course. Only recently had she bothered to try to take the spell off and found that she didn't know how. If there was a way, she hadn't figured it out yet. Suddenly, as she began to cast the spell, dark blue sparks shocked her hand and spread quickly to the rest of her. It was incredibly painful and, with a cry, she fell to her knees. She dismissed the spell and the feeling of being burned began to fade.
What in the world?
She muttered to herself.
Okay. What in the world indeed?
For some reason, you said that in a way that was like it was going to start a song. What in the world indeed?
What in the world?
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Came a voice behind her. She turned, but it was only Morwen looming over her.
Morwen, let us take a walk, Uriel.
She extended a hand, and after a moment's hesitation, Uriel took it. Morwen helped her back on her feet, and they walked through the barrier. Uriel
Is
protested.
this the dark fairy or the light fairy?
Dark.
They're reversed, right?
Or
No,
yeah,
the dark
she's
one's evil?
the light
you're
fairy.
right. She is the light fairy.
Okay, all right.
And they walked through the
But she's evil.
barrier.
Yes.
Right.
It's a tale of not stereotyping good and evil people.
or something.
Hey, good people can be evil too, guys. Don't let.
But Uriel, maybe, God, what was it that Olaf said over in the Venom one? Like, maybe Uriel wasn't born evil, but maybe she was made evil because everybody forced her to be.
Because of
whatever the fuck it was.
misunderstandings or something.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Still
Three's Company.
Still definitely evil.
Yeah, Misha's noting that Uriel is the light fairy. You can remember it because Uriel, spelled slightly differently, is the name of an angel in the Bible. So that helps.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll help.
Yeah. Put that in my Bible trading cards. Yep, checks out.
Within the barrier or no?
Dude, do you have redemption? Do you have redemption cards?
No, man, come on. Nobody has that.
Uriel protested, but Morwen cut her off, saying,
Fear not, you don't need the protection.
Uriel frowned, wondering what in the world she could mean by that, but said nothing. The air seemed colder than it had been within the barrier.
Now, Uriel,
Began Morwen.
listen to me. I named you Fiora so soon because I foresaw this event. While you and your sister were out on your silly little adventure, my scrying bowl began to show a vision, and I looked. And I saw that the tribes were almost all but vanished. We will be safer in the Light Kingdom, Uriel, as will Nereza in the Dark. I do not suggest that you go after her. I did not intend to,
Said Uriel, a little surprised that that was true.
Perhaps some time apart is what we need. She could not accept your decision. Our decision. Well, of course not. I betrayed her, and so did you. Duh.
Uriel felt as if she had been struck across the face. Or grabbed by the ear and pulled across the room. A single tear slid down her cheek.
I'm so conflicted.
She admitted quietly.
I still want, the power and the position all to myself, though I suppose there is no position for me anymore. I am so much better than she at magic. How could we ever be equals? And yet, I am ashamed. She is my sister, after all. She is more than your sister,
Said Morwen.
One day, Uriel, you will know the truth and understand everything, but now is not the time.
Uriel looked curiously at her former mentor, who stopped walking and turned to face her.
Do not perform any more of your dark magic, Uriel.
She warned.
It will only bring about misfortune and darkness, you know. Because
I'm sure.
it's dark magic, so it follows logically. You know that of which I speak. That magic which you meant to use on our escorts. Well, do not harm them. Let them take you to the Light Kingdom. I am going to tell you this now and vanish, possibly forever. Unless there's more exposition that needs to take place later in the story. We'll see.
Then maybe my voice will show up in the staff. I don't know, whatever.
Probably next
Here I
chapter
go.
you'll have a flashback to what I'm saying now, but that will be it. Do not seek me out.
Uriel gripped her staff tighter.
You're going to leave me?
She squeaked.
All by myself? Nereza is all by her own self.
Morwen reminded her.
She hasn't a friend in the world anymore.
At the thought of her sister, Uriel lowered her head and let her hair fall on her face. Morwen would have none of it, though, and took the young fairy's chin in her hand and forced it up. They locked eyes.
I also had a vision
Continued Morwen.
that you would become a great queen one day. Rule and protect as you see fit. I have faith in you.
She left no time for Uriel to speak, and drew away suddenly, almost fading into the air, before disappearing completely. Is everybody getting, wrapped up in it?
Was she? I think she was just
I get-
raptured.
Olivia has been, live tweeting responses to all
I
this,
know.
and I don't know what help me.
That was for the fly.
That was for the what?
The fly. It's a fly.
Oh. Okay. Brando.
Misha is
Anyway,
invested to a
we're
goddamn
all-
degree.
Olivia.
We talked about that.
Oh, are we
Yeah.
okay with the? All right.
Yeah, I mean,
all right.
correct me. Yeah, there.
Is it okay?
Yeah,
all
sorry.
right.
We've been DMing.
Okay. When finally she slept, Uriel dreamed vividly of things she did not understand. She saw the silhouette of a fairy, which she reached for. The fairy became purple, and she recognized her as an ancient. The fairy was sad, and Uriel soon
It's a
realized
sad
that it was. Uriel soon realized that it was because she was trapped within a glass bottle. Uriel had heard of these glass bottles, containers on which fairy magic did not work, and from which a fairy could never escape on her own. And it had many nightmares as a child once she'd learned. Oh, and it had many nightmares as a child once she'd learned of them.
And of a giant,
She felt
giant man dressed in green who would cruelly capture
And-
fairies.
Eat them.
This is like a weird little Candor subplot here for all you Superman fans out there. I see you. She felt a surge of fear at the sight of the bottle, but was relieved that the fairy inside was not herself. The ancient fairy pressed her hands against the inside of the bottle, and then against the inside of the bottle? How does it do that? Oh, because it's okay, I
Yeah.
got it. Because it's trapped there.
Yes.
And then pounded them against the glass, apparently yelling, though Uriel heard not a sound. The fairy's eyes caught sight of something, and they widened in horror. She pressed herself against the opposite side of the bottle. Uriel tried to look, but saw only a shadow of writhing black and purple descending forth. Suddenly, a large hand took hold of the bottle and pulled free the cork, releasing the fairy inside. The shadow met to swallow the fairy, and the two fell into a crucible. The large hand and its double surrounded the bowl and began to glow with magic.
A crucible, as in that's like a restraining device of some kind, right?
Isn't it just a bowl?
A bowl?
Yeah,
A
I thought a
crucible?
crucible was like a no like a crucible. That's like where things are tempered or whatever, right?
Maybe. Let me see.
Isn't that the whole thing with the witches?
A vessel made of a refractory substance such as graphite or porcelain, used for melting.
Ceramic or metal
okay,
container
yeah.
in which others. Yeah.
It really is
All right.
a crucible, apparently.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh shit. We're inside the crucible. The shadow laughed at the fairy and spoke to it in a language Uriel didn't understand. The fairy angrily screamed her protest and attempted to protect herself, but then the two were stunned and made powerless by the magic of the hands. You gotta beware of the magic of the hands sometimes, you know what I'm saying? The scene then faded away. In its place, a darkness rose up and surrounded Uriel. It asked a question, and its voice sounded like knives scraping together, but Uriel understood it.
I'm not sure what effect I can put on here that'll sound like knives scraping together, but
You can give names.
It said challengingly.
Can you take them away, Fiora?
Yora. Uriel woke with a start, sitting straight up. She was sweating and trembling, and her heart was beating fast. She tried to grasp at the memory of her dream so as not to forget it, but the harder she grasped, the further it slipped away. She could remember nothing, but was filled with a strange sensation and plagued by a terrifying idea. The two air fairies were still asleep beside her. It was not yet dawn, but almost. She saw no sign of Morwen and then remembered that she had left. A feeling of loneliness descended upon her, but she managed to shake it off, so who cares?
Cool.
She had something else to consider. All right, good to have something else to... Oh, Jesus, part 8 is... Part 8's a jump.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's get to it. Part 8.
8.
A wonderful
Go
puzzle.
ahead. 10 years later. The young dark fairy hurried along the castle hallways, flying to increase her speed. She had a very important message to deliver to the queen, moving as quickly as she could. The queen
there
was,
going to
as
be
you...
necromancers after this time jump.
Sure, why not? I mean, there might... That's a friggin' decade. A lot of stuff might have changed.
Yeah.
The queen was, as usual at this time of day, resting in her lounge room with her advisor.
Okay.
So this queen might be Uriel, right? Or it might be Nereza. It might be anything.
Yeah, I suppose so. One of them is named Aoife, which is... Okay, I guess it's a mystery.
Nereza is mentioned here. But I think Nereza's the advisor, if I'm reading this correctly. In the meantime, okay. Nereza, she said, turning to her advisors. Yeah.
Okay, queen. Resting her... I was thinking, perhaps, of Osla.
She was... Osla. She was musing aloud.
Osla?
It's the capital of Norway, I think.
We could do hamburger helper. What do you feel like? Though it feels...
Go on. I said it already.
It feels rather too fiery to me. What do you think? Milady,
said the messenger, interrupting the conversation and producing a sloppy curtsy.
There is news from the Light Kingdom. It is urgent.
As a reminder, this is a young girl, so...
Yeah.
She sounds beautiful.
Very well, Aoife,
said the queen, not in the least perturbed.
So I think we can assume some things.
Not in the least perturbed by the intrusion.
What do they want? Have they accepted our proposal for peace? Not quite,
replied the messenger nervously.
You see, the Light Kingdom has recently crowned a new queen.
The advisor was surprised. The queen was interested and asked, "Hey, queen lady, what's the deal? Dealio, yo." Queen asked,
Have they indeed? Yes, milady, and it appears that the new queen has decided that your gracious offer of peace is, well...
She wrung her hands.
Do not fret so, Aoife, dear. You are not responsible for your messages, remember? Continue. It's not that, my lady. I know you are good. However, the new Light Queen is not so certain. She has declared your offer insulting, and that though she hopes her first act as queen will not be an act of war, she may have no choice if we continue to, as it was put, promote lies and untruths, which are acts of hostility.
The queen smiled.
Fascinating,
she said.
The Light Kingdom can have peace with the other 5 kingdoms, but not with us. Where Queen Endrita still reigning, this would have been dealt with.
She thought for a moment and then laughed.
It sounds like the new queen is quite the headstrong and arrogant little pest, talking so big of war. I would be willing to wager that she has some deep prejudice against dark fairies. What is her name?
The advisor gazed intensely at the messenger, who answered,
I believe her name was Fiora, if I'm not mistaken. And now we're vindicated. It's all wrapping up and tying in with the official canon of Fiora being
there we go.
Of a fairy.
Is Kitty happy?
I think she's asleep, unfortunately.
She's not dancing in the background. Go wake her up. Go wake her up for this.
She has to get up early. Okay.
I didn't fucking wake her up. Just goddamn. This is fairy canon, Tristan. It matters. At that, the queen let out another laugh, harder and fuller this time. The messenger pursed her lips quizzically. No one heard the advisor sigh in relief.
Nobody expects the advisor's sighs. Fiora, is it?
Exclaimed the queen, wiping tears from her eyes as her laughter subsided.
She is just as mightily arrogant as I suspected. An alias, I have no doubt. No one would be named so contemptuously. Actually, my lady, that appears to be her true name.
The queen's eyes widened.
Indeed, how peculiar. Fiora. Though, to be fair, she must be a wondrous magician indeed to have usurped the Light Queen. Speaking of whom, Aoife, did you get wind of how she lost her crown to this hot-headed imp?
Aoife shook her head.
Only some mention of a duel. Endrida's exact fate is unknown to me, though it is clear she lost. I see. So the beast obtained her throne by battle, and has already tasted victory.
The queen tapped her chin in thought.
Judging by what I believe to know of her character, she will declare war on us inevitably. Whether it will be tomorrow, or next year, or in 100 years remains to be seen. Though I sincerely doubt it would be so late, she seems the impatient type. In the meantime, Nereza,
she said, turning to her advisor,
what would you suggest?
Nereza thought for a moment in silence, then replied,
If war with the Light Kingdom is inevitable, then we must, of course, prepare. It will be important to secure allegiances from the other kingdoms, of course, despite their alliance with the Light Kingdom.
Of course.
I have personal connections with the Fire Kingdom, though I am uncertain if that will be enough to secure their support. I suggest a meeting of ambassadors from all 6 kingdoms to discuss the matter. Hopefully it will not be as you say, and we can prevent the war. I would not wish war with the Light Kingdom.
Of course. The queen had been watching her intently, and her eyes were filled with understanding. She nodded and smiled.
As always, you are correct, Nereza.
She praised.
Aoife, please deliver the summons. We shall have it held here in my court, for we have nothing to hide. It shall be set to occur in 1 moon's full passing from this time. Also,
Said Nereza quickly before Aoife could leave.
did you find...
Aoife shook her head.
I'm sorry.
She curtsied, properly this time, and swiftly left. Nereza sighed.
I may as well not even ask anymore.
She murmured. The queen placed her hand on Nereza's sympathetically.
We will find her someday.
She assured her.
Do not lose heart. We fairies live long lives, and in time you will be reunited with your sister. Okay, it's super obvious that her sister is going by Fiora now, right? I mean...
It's been 10 years. Maybe we don't know what she's been through in those 10 years. Maybe she's forgotten everything, you know?
But should I even want that? She has clearly made no attempt to find me, so if she is not lost or dead, then she has no excuse. Does she really hate me that much? I have done her no wrong. In fact, it was she who betrayed me. Yet I have made it a priority in my life to find her since we were separated, and I have been utterly without success. Uriel vanished from the world the night she was taken from me. I am sorry,
Said the queen gently.
I wish there were anything more I could do that I haven't already done. My own sister is separate from me, as you know, but even that is not the same. If you would only allow me to visit the kingdom myself. You know why I cannot. That is the one thing I cannot do. You are a dark fairy. They have never allowed dark fairies into the Light Kingdom. I myself have never even been. If I sent you there, I would lose my advisor and dear friend. And at a time like this, when the Light Queen has been replaced with an angry and bigoted child who has threatened us with war, it is unthinkable. Perhaps some day, when the tides have changed and we are no longer forced into these silly type-based kingdoms, you will be able to look with your own eyes upon all the light fairies and find hers. But then, I am afraid the answer... But until then, I am afraid the answer must be no.
Nereza sighed again. After a moment, she asked,
What will happen if we go to war?
The queen shrugged.
I hope it does not come to that.
She answered.
I will do whatever I can to prevent that. Hopefully we can come to some agreement at the summons. But if it does,
Nereza pressed.
then we will do what we must.
Section break. The month passed by without event, until it was at last the eve before the meeting. The representatives from the 5 other kingdoms arrived and were shown their quarters. As important guests, they would stay in the palace to rest from their journeys. The summons was to be held the next morning in a private hall after breakfast, closed off to the public. Nereza scanned the faces of the Light Kingdom representatives carefully, but Uriel's face was not among them. Her feelings were mixed regarding this fact, and she was both disappointed and confused. She was sure that Uriel, with her abilities, would have risen in the Light Kingdom to a notable rank.
Queen, perhaps?
And yet she was... yeah. And yet... I love how, like, the queen up above, like, called her, what was it, an angry and bigoted child, and it's like, why isn't that setting off flashers, you know? And yet she was absent. Was she not notable enough to be an ambassador? Or were Nereza's fears true all along, and Uriel was not in the Light Kingdom? 5 of the 6 kings were present. Queens Nuria of the Fire Kingdom, Esithra of the Earth Kingdom, Essen of the Air, Sedna of the Water, and, of course, Cythera of the Dark. They each brought their their advisors and several other fairies important to them. Queen Fiora of the Light was notably absent. Her ambassador of the highest rank took her place. When the time was appropriate, Nereza approached Queen Nuria and said humbly,
So wait. What is Nuria queen of?
Fire.
Fire? We've been in the Fire Kingdom this whole time?
No. We've got 6. Look at the paragraph right above. 5 of the 6 queens were present. Queen Nuria of the Fire Kingdom, a Cythera of the Earth Kingdom. So this is a thing that's affecting all the kingdoms.
I'm just
so
scrolling back to see if the queen that I was voicing was ever named, or if this is the point that it's being named. Huh.
I think, she must have been Essen.
Well,
but maybe you're right. Yeah. No. But like,
it must be Cythria.
No. But Nuria says to her, "I know you," so it's not Nuria. But why wouldn't it be Essen? Isn't she with the air fairies?
No, she's a dark fairy.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. Oh, and of course, Cythera of the right. Yeah. So that's why it's of course, because they're okay. Now you're right.
Just like I've definitely never heard that name, Cythera. Okay.
Yeah.
Brother, Nereza approached Queen and Nuria said humbly, "My lady, if I may." "I know you,"
said the queen, fire-red eyes widening in surprise. She waved her attendants away, leaving them alone.
"You are that sorceress who renamed me."
Nereza blushed.
"Yes, I am advisor to Lady Cythera now." Well, we could have just read a couple lines.
We never give them, we never trust in them.
I know.
Mm-mm.
"I wonder you are not the queen,"
murmured Nuria. Wow, that's a fun little thing to say. Murmured Nuria. Nuria. Her wings burned as brightly and as warmly as they had the day she first received them.
Misha says, "Rude, the queen is right there." "Oh no."
Nereza shook her head.
"I couldn't. Cythera is a good queen. I am happy where I am."
Nuria's eyes searched her face carefully.
"I notice you say nothing of her power,"
she replied in a quiet voice.
"Surely you have more than she. I know you have more than I."
"Power is not the sole thing a queen ought to possess to rule well."
At that, Nuria smiled.
"You are wise, too. You would make a good queen indeed. And do not lie to me that you are satisfied with your station. It is loyalty alone that holds your hand."
Nereza averted her gaze. The queen's ideas were false.
50-50.
The queen's ideas were false, but also not too far from the truth. While the position of Dark Queen was not one Nereza particularly desired, she still burned with bitterness at the injustice done to her by Uriel and Morwen.
"I was to be Fiora with my sister,"
she told her.
"I was betrayed by her and our mentor. Uriel became Fiora on her own."
Ding, ding, ding.
But it's not possible that she could have taken the name Fiora.
I wonder what the end of this chapter is going to be. What do you think?
At that moment, the tribe was broken apart. I have not seen her since.
Nuria put a hand on the Dark Fairy's arm.
"She is the other one, is she not? The other namer who saved my people."
Nereza nodded.
"She is missing as well,"
she confessed.
Isn't that what you just said? You've not seen her since. Also, she's missing.
Yeah.
Yeah. On top of that, she's missing, and I can't find her. That day, she vanished from the world. No one has found a light fairy by the name of Uriel anywhere by the name of
He's in heaven with Raimi.
That's what missing means.
They're both in there naked, running around.
I have been searching now for 10 years. I thought for certain she might have sought a position of power, even queen, as ambitious and arrogant as she is, and yet she has done no such thing. And if she was going to do it, it would have been in the Light Kingdom. But they've just got this mysterious person named Fiora.
Who's young.
Yeah. Curious.
The Fire Fairy crossed her arms over her chest.
Did she not join the Light Kingdom Fioras? That was the first place I looked once I was able. She was not there.
Well, maybe they mean like literally a child, and we're gonna find out that the girl named Fiora is actually Uriel's child.
Maybe.
That would be fun, wouldn't it? So that she has to like take on her sister's her niece, her tiny little niece, who's like, I want to start a war with you. Nuria frowned for a moment, then replaced it with a wry grin.
I find you and your situation fascinating. Such a wonderful puzzle. Such wonderfully puzzling sisters. I greatly look forward to what your futures hold. With as much power as the both of you possess, it is inevitable that extraordinary things are to come. I do not know about all that.
She laughed.
You are young. When you learn to see your immortality and time stretch before you like the horizon, you will see as all fairies do.
Yeah, probably.
I am not so young.
Said Nereza defensively.
Younger than most, I would say.
Nuria's eyes softened.
I am retiring to my rooms now, for I am weary. But I promise you, I will keep an eye and ear out for your sister.
Though her first impulse was to refuse the offer, Nereza knew she could do no such thing. If there was a chance of finding Uriel and being reunited with her, she would take it. Despite her sister's betrayal, she missed her dearly and wished to see her again. She smiled sadly at Nuria.
Thank you,
she said, and they parted ways.
Okay, so we've got 10 minutes remaining here. Do we want to just find a one-off?
Meh, sure.
Okay, let's go to just
Elsa Venom.
I don't think there's going to be enough time for Venom.
We got to find something short.
Yeah, Venom we can really pick apart. We have a lot of fun stopping Venom every two lines.
Tracy's art has
Hey, all you crazy cats.
Tracy's art has put me in the mood for that. Well, 10 minutes isn't enough for a driver. We'll try it, I guess.
I mean, we're gonna run long, but I guess whatever. Are we on chapter 7? Is that right?
Believe so. No, chapter 9.
What the hell? What?
We're on chapter 9 of Venom's New Beginning.
All right, okay. So this is shorter than chapter 7, so we're good. Meanwhile, in the city of Arendelle, Carnage was working on his assignment that his mysterious master had given him. Truth be told, he was a little disappointed that Venom wasn't there, since he was in the North Mountain with his precious queen. He was hoping for some sort of challenge. Also on top...
I'm picturing him, like, doing homework.
Right. Like, he's like, this jumble is besting me. I wish we were fighting Venom. Also, on top of that, Serpentine insisted to the master that he tagged along as well to help identify and retrieve the Mundus Calcator, much to Carnage's aggravation. He always preferred to work alone when it came to causing mayhem. Still, they were close to achieving their objective as they approached the Royal Museum of Arendelle. If Carnage had it his way, the two of them would have retrieved the book the good old-fashioned way, crash the museum in their true forms, and kill everyone in the way, even the ones who weren't just for the fun of it. What? Okay. However, Serpentine intervened on that part of the mission as well. Still, Carnage couldn't deny that Serpentine's reasons for doing it that way were sound. It's spelled exactly like Serpentine, by the way, but I figured to give it a real, like, name feel, you know?
Yeah.
According to Serpentine, it was best they visited the museum incognito, using their human forms in order to locate the Mundus Calcator. Once they found the book, then
Larry?
the fun can begin.
That's his slogan. The fun
Very like a
can
kid all
begin.
going according to plan.
Oh, the fun
Or
can
it all
begin.
The fun can begin.
The fun
Walking
can
into
begin.
Walking into the museum, Serpentine, or in his human form, Prince Hans, along with Carnage, Cletus Cassidy, were greeted by Jewel, the museum director. Okay, so wait, Serpentine is Prince Hans?
That's a big reveal, right?
I
We didn't know this
guess.
before, did we?
Yeah, that's...
And Prince Hans is the villain from the first Frozen, right? Or no?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Who's Prince Hans?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Wait,
But then
Han-
don't the Frozen people already know Prince Hans is bad? What he's
Yeah,
free
they,
to walk.
they
What happens
really
at the end
buried
of
the lead
Frozen?
with that.
Hans isn't.
I don't know.
Hans isn't the reindeer guy, is it?
No, he's the,
No,
he's
no.
the love is an
That's-
open door guy who
Okay.
turns evil
All right.
at the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just image searched
I assume.
Prince Hans Serpentine and got nothing, so I guess this must be...
Yeah, I think this is an OC
Okay,
villain that he
okay.
made out of
Hans.
Hans. Yeah.
All right.
All right, they were greeted by Jewel, the museum director. So I assume the artist
The
from our
singer,
world.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
No idea what she talks like, but good day, gentlemen. How are you today? Probably like that, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
sure.
probably her.
She smiled and asked. Serpentine
Sexy.
smiled and returned the pleasantry.
Now, is he Serpentine or is he in his human form as Prince Hans?
Well, he introduces himself as Hans, so...
Yeah. Very well, thank you. My name is Hans, and this is my associate, Cletus.
He then shook the director's hand and politely nodded to her. Continuing to work his sociopathic charm, he quickly showed the museum director some false documents that he forged and said, "Oh, that's sociopathic charm, all right, always having forged documents on you."
My associate and I are history professors from the University of Folksport, and are here to inquire about a certain book that you have on display here, the Mundus Calcator. Now,
Yeah.
this is after the events of Frozen, so shouldn't people know Prince Hans?
Bad news. That's what I'm saying. I can't remember what happens to Prince Hans at the end of Frozen, but we found out he was a villain.
Yeah.
In Act 3 of Frozen.
Whatever.
I mean, having
He's
never
taken
seen it, I have
some
no idea, but...
liberties.
So he's better off in his serpentine form than being Prince Hans because there's that jerk. Oh no, it's just a lizard monster. We're fine.
Like, well, though, for all we know, the serpentine form is literally like him with like a popped collar that kind of looks like a serpent, like a really
Right.
popped collar.
Okay.
The director
So
thought,
he's from the evil camp,
yeah.
the rich kid camp. I hate serpentine.
The director thought for a moment, then smiled and replied,
Sorry, I started looking up a Frozen synopsis to figure that out.
Oh, yeah, we gotta find out.
Ah, yes, a very interesting piece we have here.
As she said that, Prince Hans nodded and asked,
You don't suppose we could examine the book up close and personal, do you?
Of course, poor Jewel, poor Jewel,
Poor Jewel.
was fooled by his charm and took the bait.
The bait. Yes,
I
Professor.
really hope this ends with them grabbing the book, smacking her on the head, and running away.
Yes, Professor Hans, by all means.
She then motioned for the two of them to follow her.
Right this way.
As Hans and Cletus followed the naive director down a long corridor, she asked them,
So what exactly is your interest with this book?
to which Hans lied,
Well, Cletus and I are writing a book about various ancient texts and their significance in cultures around Europe, and this book will be one hour premiere articles.
Walking through a set of double doors and into a back room, Jewel began her dialogue about the book.
Usually we keep it in our literature exhibit, but we've been renovating lately, and so it's been back here for the time being.
Walking up to a glass case, she pointed and said,
Here we are, gentlemen.
as the duo joined their guide by the glass case, they were awestruck at the book that sat before them.
So this is the legendary Mundus Calcator.
Cletus Cassidy said.
The pictures we've seen don't do it justice.
Hans smiled and said, deciding to bask in the ancient artifact's glory too,
Let's
You know
all
what?
take
strips off to a
baths.
swimsuit.
I shouldn't, but I'm gonna bask in the glory of it just for a second.
The museum director continued her dialogue about it.
An ancient brotherhood of druids believed this book to be the key to other worlds.
However, according to legend, only the most powerful and wise of sages could use the incantations in this book, mainly because they knew of the dangerous repercussions this book could have.
Before she could finish her story, Cletus knocked her out and then exclaimed, hello.
Cletus has the hands of a surgeon.
There we go. All right, we did it your way, and now let's play, man.
Turning into his true form of Carnage, he smashed open the glass case and Hans grabbed the book. He then looked at Carnage and said,
You can't argue with results, man.
Hans then turned into his true form and licked his lips with his fork-shaped tongue.
It's not a forked tongue, it's a fork-shaped tongue.
It's got 4 tines.
It's got 4 tines. It's skinny, and then it spreads out at the end. Yeah, a little pitchfork coming out.
All of a sudden, the double doors opened again, causing the two villains to turn around and see 3 security guards running in.
What's going on in here?
And then I guess it's still...
The
head guard exclaimed before he saw Carnage and Serpentine. Carnage then let out a high-pitched, evil laugh and grabbed the 2 other guards with his tendrils and whipped out his blade hands. As he pulled the guards to him, he did another one of his laughs and exclaimed,
Let the games begin!
Oh, dude,
This
look,
guy-
he's doing one of his laughs.
this guy really doesn't have, like, anything for Carnage except, like, let's get the game on, you know? It's like...
Time for
like
the
Carnage
fun
generally-
times.
Let's
Yeah,
do
Carnage
this.
is generally a little bit more creative with his egging people on than that. But here it was, now let's play, man. Let the games begin. Who's got Settlers of Catan? You know, it's just... Meanwhile, Serpentine started to work on the head security guard. Although the guard drew his sword and tried to... Right, okay, olden times. Yes,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Although the guard drew his sword and tried to appear brave, his eyes didn't lie. As one could imagine, Prince Hans's appearance as Serpentine was dramatically... Hips don't lie. As one could imagine... or you could tell us, I guess. Prince Hans's appearance as Serpentine was dramatically different from his human look. Here we go.
Okay.
He had green eyes with black diamond-shaped pupils, which were locked on the helpless guard. Although he had a full set of hair,
Black
including
Diamond,
mutton
like Crotty Robot? I'm picturing him with Crow-T robot eyes.
All right. Although he had a full set of hair, including mutton chop sideburns in his human form, he was completely hairless as Serpentine. Not sure how that works. He also possessed fangs that he used to inject venom into his victims with. Serpentine was also... Like, okay,
So he's bald, has jaundice, and
and has a fork-shaped tongue.
Pointy teeth, yeah.
Okay, so like, I know this is a dumb question, but is there anything from Frozen? Like, does Hans collect snakes, or I mean, does this make any sense in any way?
He was a very, very straightforward, just wanted power in the kingdom, no powers, like superpowers, no snakes.
All right, okay. Serpentine was also capable of spitting poison at his enemies from a distance. He may have been new at being a villain, but he was still a force to be reckoned with.
We now know that Serpentine spews venom at its prey.
He then mockingly bowed to the guard as if in a duel and hissed.
And of course, he hisses,
"It's your move."
and he's continuing with the board game theme.
Play passes to the left.
You've set off my mouse trap.
Boardwalk.
Yes.
Out of desperation and fear for his life, the guard ran forward, slashing his sword. However, much to his horror, the blade shattered when it made contact with Serpentine's skin. It is so hard to figure out the meaning from these sentences with no friggin' comments.
Yeah.
The scales covering his skin acted as natural armor and weren't even damaged from the attack. Once the guard's blade shattered, he clumsily fell over while trying to get away from his attacker. When he attempted to crawl to safety, Serpentine grabbed him and lifted him up to eye level.
Please don't kill me. Please. I don't want to die.
The guard whimpered.
Don't kill you? Tell me, where's the fun in that?
So, do you think that perhaps, because again, I haven't seen Frozen, but as I understand it, it's very it's very intentionally feminist, right? And Hans is
Sure.
I've heard that the bad guy is kind of like a nice guy or whatever. Like it's kind of
at first.
right. It's kind of, but nice guy in quotes, right? It's kind of lampooning that sort of idea, right? Mm-hmm. So is the fact that he took on, he's now like an avatar of a very phallic creature. Do you think that that's what he's going for here? That he's trying to say that he's trying to push that sort of angle?
Sure. Yeah, that's...
if you want, I guess. I don't know.
Yes.
Sure.
I'm
give
trying
them
to...
all the credit and say that's what he's doing.
I'm trying to figure out any reason for this character being a snake now.
I would sooner go the George H.W. Bush route and say he's a snake. He's a slippery snake.
Serpentine teased before he extended his viper fangs and struck the man in the jugular. The guard's eyes rolled back into his head as Serpentine injected his special venom into the poor man's neck. Within seconds, the victim's body...
Venom.
What was that?
Bringing out the special venom.
Yeah. Within seconds, the victim's body began to smoke and shrivel up. Taking his fangs out, Serpentine released his grip on the body and watched it crumple to the floor. It was then... There's the drinking game. It was then he noticed carnage.
Insert the panel of John saying, "Garfield, speak to me!" Sorry.
It was then he noticed Carnage walking up beside him and admiring his work. Inspecting the dead body, he said,
"Not bad, snake boy."
Then he formed his sledgehammer from his fist and smashed open the closest wall. The duo then exited the building. The duo then exited the building while Serpentine tucked the book under his arm and prepared to depart from the city. As Carnage shot out one of his tendrils and slung away, Serpentine leapt onto a nearby rooftop and began roof jumping at a supernatural speed. As he caught up to Carnage, who was swinging over his head, a voice boomed, causing both of them to stop in their tracks.
And just to reiterate, that is not a supernatural speed. It's a supernatural speed.
Right. It's like so natural, it needs to be pointed out.
It's like chillax as hell, bro. The speed.
No one would question it. Okay, the
You think,
skeleton. Okay.
Serpentine Carnage!
The skeleton head of their master, Tyrannus, appeared before them in a cloud of smoke, causing Carnage to land next to Serpentine while asking...
Did we have a name before? Is this the reveal?
I think this is the first time we got a name.
Okay. A lot of stuff being casually revealed in...
Yeah.
Okay. So Carnage is asking,
What can we do for you, boss? Venom and the Queen are reunited and are heading back to the city as we speak. It is time to put our plan into action.
If his name is Tyrannus, I really hope that he's a dinosaur. Boom! Another chapter for you, my loyal readers. Seems the crap is about to hit the fan. So how do y'all feel about Prince Hans being Serpentine? I put a lot of thought into his character and his powers.
I can tell.
What, is Cletus writing this?
And Hans has always been snake-like in Frozen, and so I figured this Serpentine thing would fit him perfectly. Now, on a happier note...
There you go, I guess.
There we go. Now, on a happier note, I only posted my story 111.15, and I already have close to 180 views as of 114.15. I want to take this time to thank all of you for reading this story, and trust me, there's more to come. Till next time...
You wouldn't thank us.
Peace out! You might.
So long, Procephus.
There we go.
Tristan,
That's
am I
good
on
stuff.
screen?
Always good.
You're,
Oh, wait, yeah.
no, your illustration.
Are you still in the bit? I mean, the box? I mean, the machine?
I mean, I don't know. Someone's got to tell me. Did we make it to 50 followers?
I don't believe that we did.
Let's see. We started the night at 41, and we are now at 41.
He's gonna die, guys. We can't even hear him anymore.
Yeah, I thought by the timetable set up, he would be dead by now.
I don't know. I don't know what the machine does, guys, but I'm scared. Please tell all your friends about Fanfic Theatre. Please make many alternate accounts and have them all follow us. Guys, I want out of this machine.
Longer, hold it.
Wow. And he's dead. My God.
Oh, well.
Anyway, next week...
I didn't think it would work.
Yeah, so join us next Tuesday. Fanfiction Theater. Tell all your friends.